Okay, so I would like to welcome the most beautiful woman in the world.
To say that.
Yeah,
Thank
Miss Grand Indonesia and ladies and gentlemen, Miss Grand Indonesia 2021, Sophia Rogan. Sophia, could you please greet my YouTube subscribers?
Hello, everyone. I'm Sophia Rogan, and I'm representing Indonesia for Miss Grand International this year, 2021.
Okay, Miss Sophia, a lot of people are actually asking me to ask you a lot of questions, no, because they're very interested on you. They said you are, a real queen for them and all like that. No, okay. So
Yeah,
let's start from the very beginning. Who is the real Sophia Rogan prior to the Miss Grand Indonesia? What were the things that you're doing? What were the things that you were busy about? I mean, all these things prior to the crown of Miss MGI.
love the question.
Mm.
Well, first of all, prior to Miss Grand, I was living in Bali. I was living there for around maybe 2.5 years, and I was completing my international bachelorette baccalaureate. And I was just a very normal student. To be honest, I was pretty quiet.
Mm.
I didn't interact much, as I usually do with a lot of the students in my school because I had just moved from a place in China called Macau. And I really underwent like kind of a deep issue there. There was a lot of bullying, and I had a lot of self growth to do. So by the time I got to Bali, I was very shy and I had a lot of trust issues, and I just wanted to focus on school. But nevertheless, I still, had my group of friends, and I like to consider myself fun. I think I'm actually just very lighthearted, and I'm a very passionate vegan. I learned a lot about the environment living in Bali, and I was always at the beach or going outside. Yeah, I really connected with the land. So, yeah, and then I was crowned.
Yeah, okay. So, could you please tell something about your family background, because you're not 100% Indonesian in terms of
That's true. Yeah, in terms of my blood or my heritage, my mom is Indonesian, but she does have a bit of Dutch in her. Whereas my dad, he is English for the majority, but he also has a bit of Danish in him. Yeah.
okay.
But I always grew up abroad, mostly in Asia and also the Middle East, so in the deserts. And yeah, I would travel between England every other year and Indonesia every other year to see my families from both sides.
Mhm. Okay. So, do you have a brother or a sister, or you're an only kid?
I don't have a brother, but I do have a sister. She's 13 right now. Her name is Nadia Putri Rogan.
Okay. She's so lucky, no? She is
Yeah,
the sister of Miss Grand Indonesia.
no, but yeah, she's great. I love
Okay,
her.
so I heard that you also studied in the Philippines. Actually, a lot of people would like to, be clarified about it.
Yeah.
How long you really have studied in the Philippines? Which school, and why in the Philippines?
Okay. Well, to be honest, it's a little foggy for me, but I'm gonna say at least 2 years I was studying in the Philippines, probably 2.5 years. I was living in I was living next to Greenbelt Mall
Mhm.
in San Lorenzo Village in Manila with my family, with my mom and my dad and my sister. And we moved there from the Middle East because of my dad's work. He's a project manager. Um, he was working on if I'm not mistaken, is it DreamWorks?
Mhm.
Like next to the Mall of Asia. So he
Mm.
was working there. Oh, City of Dreams. That's what he was
Of
working on.
dreams, yeah.
Yes. And so I went to school with my sister at the British School of Manila.
Mm.
And
The school in front of
ISM.
International School Manila, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah, there was so much rivalry between those schools, especially like in sports and stuff. um, but yeah, I went to that school. It was the first school that I ever went to that was of that caliber. I mean, it's a massive school, just like super advanced, like technologically. And it was great. I loved it. Everyone was very friendly. And yeah, it was more like a community, like
So
everyone
you,
knew each other.
yeah, yeah, you mentioned in one of our chats before that you became like friends or classmates of Rufa Gutierrez's daughter, Venice, because Rufa Gutierrez was the second princess in the Miss World, and she is also an
Yeah.
iconic beauty queen in the Philippines. So they are so interested to know about that.
Well, I didn't actually know that at the time. Like I didn't know that Miss Rufa, represented the
Mhm.
Philippines in a pageant before. I just knew that she was somebody because, there
It's a celebrity in the Philippines.
yeah,
That's what you all.
yeah,
That's
but
what,
her kids, yeah, they did go to my school. Um, I mean, we never got to the point where it was like super close, we weren't like hanging out every day. But I definitely saw them around the campus. They seemed very, very sweet girls. And yeah, yeah.
how about the kids of Agamulak and Charlene Gonzalez? Because Charlene was also, top six in the Miss Universe.
Yes, I didn't know any of this at the time. But yeah, I believe that they have twins. Atasha Mulak was in my grade, so we are the same age. And her brother, I don't think that he went to our school. I think it was just Atasha. But based off of my, small interactions with Atasha, she was always very like like very nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What age did you start plunging into a modeling career?
I started modeling when I was 15. I was scouted by Elite Model Management in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And
How did it happen? I mean, how did they recruit you, or
yeah,
how could you please bring that to that moment?
you know what? I'm pretty sure that I was in a market with my mom. I'm not
Really?
gonna lie. Yeah, I think I was in a market with my mom and someone just approached us and was like, "Oh, have you ever thought about modeling?" And
Mm. What
my
was your feeling when somebody approached you that and
Oh my
told
god,
you
I
that?
was so excited, but my parents are very, very skeptical. So they were very like, oh, I don't know. My mom was super supportive though. Like, um, yeah, so I went into the office probably the week after and did my measurements and they signed me then and there. Yeah.
So where was that? Was that in Hong Kong? You were in Hong
Yeah.
Kong during
That
that
was in Hong
time.
Kong while I was living in Macau. So,
Okay, so initially, what was the first project that you did for modeling?
oh, I I mean, I did like a few, odd jobs, like small jobs here and there in Hong Kong, but I think my modeling career only got serious when I participated in Jakarta Fashion Week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's when you came back here and studied in Bali, started studying in Bali.
No,
Not
no,
yet.
no. I was living in Macau still. I just flew here for fashion weeks.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I would fly here. My teachers were so supportive. They
Mhm.
would let me do everything online. I think because I had a hard time in Macau, so I think that they felt for me and wanted to cut me some slack. But I'm so grateful that they did because, look at where that led me.
Yeah. Okay, so could you say that, a modeling career is financially rewarding?
Mm, I think it depends on the place. When I first started out, it was just like I never really treated it as a job. I really enjoyed it, and I still do. I love being immersed in so much creativity around like a bunch of people who are just like very innovative. It was so fun for me as a kid. Um, but I did get like my first kind of big paycheck when
Mm.
I was in Jakarta, and I couldn't even fathom like that amount of money. I was like, oh my god, like what do I even do with all this, Um, but yeah, after that, I bought my own iPhone for myself, so I
Okay.
was very proud.
Yeah, because it's a product of your hard work, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Let's talk about what you mentioned a while ago, the reason why you came back to Indonesia is because of the issues that you had in Hong Kong. Were you bullied there, and what form of bullying you experienced, and how did you manage to confront that?
Well, let me put it into a little bit of perspective. When
Mhm.
I lived in Macau, up until kind of the point where everything went bad, my life was so amazing. Sorry,
Mhm.
my phone's on. My life was so amazing, and I was always practicing gratitude. I was very, very grateful for everything. And I had the best group of friends. I played volleyball competitively around China,
Oh,
something
really?
I was very um, you know, a part of my community there.
Mm.
Um, yeah. And so one day, I don't know how to explain it because
Yeah.
up until today, like I still can't wrap my head around it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
But I guess to kind of sum it up, I think I I was around a lot of boys that I probably shouldn't have been around
Mhm.
as a kid. As a teenager, you're like, you think that you rule the world and stuff, and you just go do your own stuff.
Yeah.
So I was around a lot of boys, and my group of girlfriends just really turned their back to me.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and this wasn't even, this was quite a big scale. Like, it involved me going to other parts of the world, like internationally traveling, and then being left alone, feeling like I was alone. And when I got back to Macau from this trip that I had with all these people, it really just escalated very fast. And there was a lot of name calling, there was a lot of
Mhm.
cyberbullying from what I remember. Um, a lot of it to do with me being vegan.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I guess they just had such a opinion because this was when my modeling career was taking off in
Mhm.
Indonesia. And now that I look back on it, I think that they felt bad about themselves and they were probably a bit
They
jealous.
should.
I think they were a bit jealous because, you know, it's not every day that someone gets opportunities like I did.
Yes, exactly.
And I was very, very grateful for that, even though I felt very emotionally damaged and alone. And I definitely had like I was in a period of 7 months
Mm.
of just a very, very dark time. But I think I'm grateful for that experience because it brought me closer to my family and it showed me, I didn't want to give up. I was very, very sad. I would always reach out for help. Um, I would reach out to my teachers, to therapists, to counselors. I didn't want to be sad. And at the end of the day, I just said to myself, look, you are in control of your own life. I can't control everyone else around me. Um, and I'm going to pick myself up now because I don't deserve this. And I know that I'm destined for something bigger than me. And yeah, the universe really had my back through that
Yeah.
experience because, here I am today. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just,
Yes. I,
yeah.
I I feel you. Okay. But God is so good to you. After what transpired, greater things happened, no, to
Yeah.
you.
And
Uh,
I think because of that, it's part of I feel that it's my duty now to be authentic, be genuine, and share these experiences that I went through because I know for a fact that there are thousands of other young women who face
yes.
the same problems. And I would love to be a role model to them to show that you're not alone. And I got through that.
Yeah.
So, so can they? Yeah.
That's good to know, right? Okay. So you are considered now one of the youngest, beauty queens to ever compete, no, in on international stage. You're 19, and do you think it will be to your advantage?
I definitely think that there are both strengths and weaknesses to it. But in my personal opinion, I think they're all strengths
Mhm.
because I look at myself and I see a youthful woman. I believe that I still carry a lot of wisdom, even though I am 19. And I believe I'm very open to learning, I'm open to growth, and I'm all about innovation. I'm all about diversity, inclusivity. And I think that's what, international pageants need now. They need a representative who is gonna speak for the youth because that is our future.
Okay, what is the advocacy that you're trying to push or promote for Miss Grand International?
Well, initially, I wanted to advocate for mental health because, after I, went through that situation, I definitely gathered a lot of anxiety. I still struggle with anxiety today. But, I figured that I will always advocate for mental health. There are other things that I think I would much prefer to bring to the stage in the limelight, and that is the environment. And I know that that sounds, oh, like Miss Earth or something like
Earth.
that. But, our environment is something that links us all, no matter what your race is, no matter
Yes.
what sexuality, what language you speak. We are all connected to our planet, and we are all, it's all our individual duty to come together as a collective and really be there for Mother Earth because we have taken so much from her. And now she is attacking us, with so many natural disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, whatever, the list can go on and on. And it's our responsibility to undo the mistakes of our past and pave the way for a greater future.
Yeah, and I've noticed, no, based on your posting in Instagram, you're very close to nature. You're actually Miss Environment.
Yes, well, I I always did feel close to nature, but I think from being in the city, living in the city, it showed me that I am so grateful for the earth because I don't have it here. So it makes me feel grateful for the things that I don't have.
Mhm. Okay, have you ever dreamt of becoming a beauty queen?
Um, I don't know. I think maybe when I was around 16, I started watching Miss Universe,
Mhm,
and I loved Catriona Gray.
mhm.
Because partly because I felt that she was the first mixed kind of Eurasian girl that was, representing in a pageant that big, and I saw myself in her. I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's like when you go to like the toy store and you see a Barbie that looks like
Yeah,
you. I'm just like, oh my god, like I can do that.
yeah.
But it never really like went further than that until this opportunity came to me.
Yeah, okay. So how were you chosen as the Miss Grand International, Miss Grand Indonesia, no? Because there's no pageant that was held for this year. And people are asking, no, could you please bring us to the process? I
Yeah,
think it's a very interesting,
yeah.
experience, how you became the Miss Grand Indonesia 2021.
It's definitely a different and alternative way to achieving the crown. But basically, I was friends with Aura for a long time, probably since I first started out modeling, because we were with the same agency that was based in Jakarta. And, I remember meeting Aura and being like, oh my gosh, I have never met a fully Indonesian girl who is this tall and this beautiful. So I was like, wow. And then we became pretty close. She kind of guided me through all my first fashion weeks and stuff like that. And then I watched her Miss Grand Indonesia journey. I watched her from 0 to 100. And then after her reign, there was kind of like a bit of banter between us. She'd be like, oh, like you should be the next Miss Grand. I'd be like, haha, like, yeah, maybe. But I was never like too serious about it. And then I, yeah, Ivan kind of just pursued me a lot. And I was very hesitant at first because pageantry is so intimidating.
Mhm.
Um, Being in a world like this little bubble where everyone's eyes are on you and your appearance and your public speaking and whatever it may be. So I was very hesitant. And yeah, initially I didn't want to do it, but then I gathered my feelings and I said, you know what? I am going to do this and I'm going to be so different. I'm going to be totally myself. I'm going to be all natural.
Mhm.
Um, I'm going to really show that, women are powerful and I can bring my pure, authentic self to the stage and I'm worthy of any opportunities that come my way if that is what
Mhm.
my, divine plan is.
So how long did it take you to decide on it? Like a day after, or it took you a week, or and what was the turning point where you really decided and you really felt that okay, this is for me. I'm going to do it. Mm.
Well, actually, initially, I was just very, very hesitant, and I kind of already thought I was gonna say no because there had been talk about plastic surgery.
Mhm.
And plastic surgery, I'm all for it. Women who undergo, surgery like that, kudos to you. You're so strong, such a warrior. Yeah. Personally, I was just fresh out of this like journey of self-love from Macau to being in Bali. And then I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm so proud of myself for achieving that. And I felt like, I achieved that being myself. I can achieve this being myself. And I proposed that to Kaivan, and he was surprisingly very supportive.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of the moment that I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my path. I guess this is what I'm
Mhm.
destined for.
Okay. So when you were crowned, no, when you were crowned officially as I was watching via YouTube that time. I
Yeah.
supposed to go there, but then unfortunately I was not able to do it. What were the things that were running in your mind?
Wow. That day was actually very stressful. I even had a breakdown in the toilet by myself. And I fully convinced myself that I didn't want to do it anymore because while we were filming, I fell. I fell while I was walking. I did not feel confident in my walk at all, especially, when you're draped in a gown and like 12-centimeter heels. I was just not feeling confident. And I went into this bathroom and had a cry and I called my dad and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And my dad was super supportive of whatever decision I wanted to make. And I went back out there and I did the walk again and it was fine. And I was like, yeah, I can do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you feel down during that time, considering that you were aware that yeah you will be crowned and it's a rare opportunity. A lot of girls would want to be in your place, but then
Yeah.
why that feeling?
Well, it's interesting because I was once one of those girls. I once wanted a very lavish lifestyle, and I thought that my goals in life were money and fame, and things like that. And while that is still true, let's be a realist. Everyone needs money, and everyone needs to be successful in some type of way. But I think my definition of success shifted
Mhm.
because once I had this lifestyle, which is not what I expected it to be, you know, I realized that there is more to life in less.
Mhm.
That's the best way I can put it. Before I joined Miss Grand and stuff, I felt like I took all of that for granted. I took for granted the freedom of being able to go outside and have a drink with my girlfriends and, just do normal human things. Everyone deserves the right to just be a human. And when you're put into the limelight, I think that privilege is kind of taken away a little bit. So it was very overwhelming for me at first because I felt very lonely. And I know that's so ironic because you would think,
You're surrounded with
yeah, you would think that,
thousands of people at
being
once.
surrounded, representing your country and being around all these people that are supporting you, you'd think that that's enough love to get you through life and stuff. But at least for me, I value very deep connections with people. I can't just have surface level, friends or whatever it may be. Yeah, so I really miss that, to be honest. And I made it more of you know, a real thing that I would try and achieve is to have more deep connections, even though I'm doing this.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I've noticed when I first met you actually. Your authenticity, you're so genuine,
Thank
you're honest. You are what you are, and that's why
you.
I was having goosebumps actually when the first time I met you, because my gosh, this is, I mean, there's something in you, no? That's what we call X factor. You're
Aww.
so simple, no makeup at all. You were very, very simple, the simplest woman that I've ever seen, yet so powerful. Oh, the impact and all.
I think people forget, under all the makeup, all the followers, and all these gowns that I'm draped in, I am just a human. I'm just a woman. I'm just trying to get through life like everyone else is. Yeah, it's just a coincidence.
What was the most difficult part of your preparation for the Miss Grand International? You considered really taxing, that it gets on you? I mean, what particular part of the preparation or training?
To be honest, like not one class kind of stands out as something that I was like, oh, like I dreaded it. Um, there were definitely moments if it was for my Tari Bali, my Balinese dance class, that I was like, this is so tough. Like, it's really tough to dance like that and hold those.
Really?
But I enjoyed it. I loved learning about Balinese culture. I've always, gone and watched the
Mm.
Balinese dances myself as a kid. So it was nice to be on the other side of that. But also, I mean, I've always loved the Q&A sessions. I've always loved making speeches, and that's my only way of getting across,
Yeah.
my thoughts. And I've always loved that. But I think also my catwalk,
Mm.
I was always very insecure about my catwalk because you never really learn. You're kind of just thrown into it as a model and you're expected to know how to walk. And it was kind of the same with a beauty pageant, but there's more smiling and more hips. And I felt really uncomfortable. So it's still something I'm working on, but yeah.
Have they created like a signature walk for Sophia Rogan?
Yes. I mean, there's always room for improvement, I think. But I would say that my walk is very elegant. That is something that I strived for. I really want to come across as elegant because I think sometimes my age can be one of my downfalls. When people find out that I'm 19, they just assume that
Yeah.
I'm, more inexperienced or whatever it may be.
Because there were some comments that I've read in some sites that, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, but she's very young. I
Yeah.
hope I hope that the title, the crown, would be given to her in spite of her age. How come people were thinking of that, no?
I honestly I don't know, but I'm like super super grateful that um people feel that way about me. A lot of the time, being behind my Instagram,
Mhm.
I see a lot of people who aren't on the same page with me, so it's very like discerning. Like it's hard to keep going, but then there's every so often there's someone that just thinks exactly the same as me, and I'm like, yes, girl, like yes.
But
Oh,
you know what? Your appeal is very global,
mm,
very international. I
mhm.
mean, you have tons of fans all over the world, no? How do you feel about it? Really, that's true, no? Whenever I tried visiting different sites and I've read comments about you, I mean, people of different nationalities, no, they like you. How do you feel about it?
It's so weird. Like I don't really think of myself in that way. I still don't think of myself as like Sophia Rogan, Miss Grand Indonesia. I'm just Sophie. I'm just chilling. Um, but it's so nice that it's nice to be recognized. It's nice to be recognized for the things that you've done and for being my genuine self.
Okay. You were crowned during the pandemic, right? No, it's pandemic. So you're a pandemic queen with
Yeah,
okay.
that's so
So
true.
if there is one important lesson that you've learned during the pandemic, what is it?
Ooh, I would say that it's so important. Time is the most important thing that is offered to us humans. And from that stems keeping in touch with your loved ones. I think a lot of us have been very disconnected from our families or from our relationships with our friends or significant others or things like this. I think the pandemic has really pushed me into a corner where I've spent so much time with myself. And now I'm kind of emerging from that and being like, wow, I really need to make time for the people I love because that's what matters.
Speaking of love, have you been in a relationship in the past, or are you in a relationship right now? Mm.
I am in a relationship right now.
Wow, that's so amazing to
I'm
know.
in a relationship right now. Yeah. He's super amazing. And I know that for a lot of people, they don't believe that beauty queens should be sharing, their relationships or things like that. But I don't think that showing my love for someone else makes me any less
That's
powerful
yeah,
as
that's
as a woman myself. I don't think that takes away from my independence or my confidence because I know that I'm whole whether I have a
I
boyfriend
agree.
or not.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah.
How long have you been in a relationship? I'm
um,
interested to know this.
well, it's still early days.
Mm.
Like, it's
You're
still early days.
was that pre Miss Grand Indonesia or during?
No,
Wow, that's
during,
obvious.
but yeah, I met him in Bali while I was there, and he's just a very inspiring person to me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's the most important thing, no, that he
yeah.
supports, and the fact that he knows you are the current Miss Grand Indonesia, then he has a big competition
Well, no,
with
it's
the
funny because like all of my friends and stuff in Bali, they don't really look at me as Miss Grand. I'm still just
you're still the Sophia that they love.
yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel also. No, I know that you are Miss Grand Indonesia, but every time we talk, every time we share something, I feel you're a human, Sophia. I mean,
Yes, I love that. Well, that's my goal. My goal is to be as relatable, as human as I can be.
mm. And let's talk about you being a vegan. No? When did it start? Because that's very interesting. Many are actually interested to find out that a woman as young as you are is a vegan.
Yeah. So I went vegan 5 years ago when I was 14.
Still young. Mm.
Yeah, I was 14 and I think there was a lot of kind of talk about veganism already. So I was already being exposed to that on social media. And I also watched a few documentaries like Cowspiracy. Cowspiracy was the first one that I was like, okay, I'm vegan
Mm.
because I just felt so much compassion for those animals. And I think that really says something because children naturally don't want to hurt animals. They naturally feel compassion for other sentient beings. So I felt that in myself, and it was the best decision that I have ever made because it's a decision that brought me closer to myself.
Really? No, that's interesting. No, so coming from a 14-year-old kid,
Yeah.
girl who used to eat meat, then
Mhm.
how was it? Was it done? How was the transition?
It was
Uh,
completely overnight.
overnight?
Yeah, it was completely
Really?
overnight. I mean, beforehand, I never really ate seafood anyways. I just wasn't a fan of seafood. And chicken I was kind of iffy about, but I ate a lot of beef and I had a lot of dairy. Um, Not something I'm proud of today, but that's life. And I learned from that. I connected more with those animals. And also throughout my 5 years, I've learned so much about health and nutrition and our environment, just the benefits that a vegan lifestyle has for all of these aspects is just astronomical. Like now I can't even see a reason to not be vegan. You know what I
Are
mean?
you the one preparing your, your foods, or you purchase or you buy from, stores and you mix it how?
I do cook a lot of my own food, especially when I'm in Jakarta. Especially recently, when I first went vegan, I ate a lot of, I was very carb heavy because I just didn't know what to eat that was vegan. And I had a very unhealthy diet. You know, I would resort to junk food. You know, junk food can still be vegan. So I was very unhealthy. And then I think it was only within these past couple of years that I was like, okay, I want to take care of myself. You know, my body is a temple. Um, I deserve to be nourished by my food. Especially within these past 6 months, I have been trying to eat a lot more food that comes from the earth, like fruits,
Mhm.
and less processed foods. I've been buying organic, non-GMO, pesticide free, just foods that are good for your soul.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so I've been seeing your posts about, there's I mean, I was salivating every time I see your post because it looks so yummy, right? No, and
Yeah,
actually somehow I told you before, no, that I've been influenced by you. Somehow I become more conscious, no, eating vegetables now and
yeah.
fruits.
It's really good. Like, I think since I went vegan too, I think my dad really realized that he should be taking better care of your health. It's never too late or never too early to want to care about your well-being and your health. You know, you owe that to yourself. You owe it to yourself to feel nourished and feel replenished. Yeah.
So do you take vitamins? I mean, I do not know the correlation between, if you're a vegan, does it, is it necessary for you to just to take vitamins or no need?
So when I first started out, my parents were very supportive, but they wanted me to be safe, you know, having this diet. So I did take a vegan multivitamin and I also took vitamin B12.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
and I also, yeah, my multivitamin had iron in it, because these are things that are a bit hard to find: B12, iron. Most of them are in fish and things like that. Yeah, and then when I started getting a lot of anxiety, I actually convinced myself that it was anxiety and that I was sick. You know, I would convince myself that I was anemic or I needed some type of special thing, and I was scared that I would have to eat meat again. But that was just all anxiety messing with my head. um, but now I don't supplement now anymore.
Really?
I try my best to get all of the vitamins I need from food, specifically from food that is derived from the earth. Mhm.
Wow, that's interesting. Oh.
Yeah, or I take like I'm looking into taking like more natural vitamins, things like that.
Okay, so let's talk about Miss Grand, the perks of being Miss Grand Indonesia. Some
Okay.
people are interested to know that what were the things that you enjoy being a Miss Grand Indonesia.
Yeah. Um Something that I have really really enjoyed is like kind of the endorsement aspect of it is amazing. To build, you know, a relationship with brands, companies, businesses, and pursue businesses that I feel very passionate about, like ones that are very eco-conscious or environmentally friendly, even hotels that are very eco-conscious. I get to stay there, you know, I get to promote that. I love that. I love that. It's amazing. Um, Other than that, Miss Grand, I think I've really loved kind of connecting with all the girls too. It's super interesting to be able to talk to a bunch of girls from all different countries around the world, all different backgrounds. Um, it's empowering, you know, a
So,
bunch of
so
women.
right now you have a group with the other grand sisters.
Yes, we do. We have a WhatsApp and a Line group.
Okay, so far among these candidates, who are you closest with? You feel that you always communicate with?
Well, to be honest, I don't text these girls as much as I wish I would. I think I've just been super stressed out recently, especially. But I do really like indie. We have talked. I like indie. I've talked with Costa Rica, Miss Grand Costa Rica, and Alba, Miss Grand Spain. Especially in the early days, we were communicating a lot because we made an Instagram group. Um, they're so sweet. They're so sweet. Very like down to earth girls, which is I was very nervous coming into pageantry because I thought all these girls would be so boom, 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 like very bold, like ready to win the crown. But these girls are so sweet and yeah, they value, the friendships like I do.
So are you anticipating that the moment you go to Thailand, these are the queens that you will definitely look for, the first queens that you will look for?
Oh, I don't know about that. Like I've been looking at all the girls kind of and being like, will we get along, Um, but so far I'm open to everyone. Like, I don't want to judge anyone.
Okay, Sophia, you are having a reputation now of a queen who calls out, bullies, no, in the internet. I mean that you are gaining that reputation that oh, this is a real queen from Indonesia who really speaks out and and who's really really calling out no bullies. So, is that really your nature? Hmm.
It is, because I was once that girl. I was once the girl who was a victim of bullying. I have been many times.
Hmm.
So I know how it can feel, to kind of be the underdog and things like that. And I don't want to tolerate it, no matter where you're from. And I say this a lot. I'm Indonesian by blood, I'm English by blood. But before that, I am a human, and so is everyone else. And that gets lost in pageantry because we are representing countries. Um, but we have to think even before that, even before our countries, we're all the same species. We all breathe the same air. We all bleed the same color red. Um, that is what is going to unite us.
Yeah, my gosh, you're a real queen. You're a real winner.
Thank you.
Oh my, oh my gosh. Do you have a say? Do you have a say with the gowns that you will be wearing, in the pageant? Did Pa Ivan, somehow asked your, suggestion or comments?
Well, there was a gown that I kept having dreams about. Seriously. And I sent this gown to Kaivan and I said, I keep dreaming about this gown. We need to have inspiration from this gown or something. And he was like, okay. And then last week I did my fitting and the inspiration is that gown.
Mhm.
And I felt super blessed because I was like, wow, I feel so connected to this dress. Like I was a part of, the inspiration, the ideology, a lot actually. I have two gowns, preliminary and a final,
Excited. Mm.
and they're just amazing, and they're totally me. Um, it's so divine.
Yeah, I can't wait to see those two gowns,
I know, so can I.
Okay, let's talk about your talent, no? Singing. You're a good singer. Not only good, but a great singer. Are you planning to bring that in the, Miss in Grand International stage?
Well, I haven't really planned to bring it, but singing for me is super fun. Music is fun for me, so um, if I find myself in the time and place where I can offer that, I'd love to, just to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
And I believe that music has the power to bring people together. So I'd love to offer that, yeah.
Okay. So what if your life is a song, what would be the title of this song?
That's such a good question. Um, I don't know. Recently, I've really been loving Just Like Magic by Ariana Grande because it's a song about manifestation and good vibes, positive energy, and I've really been trying to channel that. So I would say my life is just like magic.
Magic. Okay. The magical Sophia. Okay. Uh, you will definitely have lots of fans from the younger generation, from the younger people, because of your age they could relate with you. uh, they do not know that you are a product of an IB school, right? So
Yeah.
could you please share something about what you enjoyed so much in an IB school?
Yeah, sure. So when I did the IB, let's see. When I did the IB, I did HL English, I did HL
Higher
Business,
level.
yeah, and I did HL History. So I was very essay heavy, very, grammar and things like this. And then I did standard level biology, French, math, and I also did TOK because that's
Mm.
a part of the curriculum. But I actually received an award for outstanding achievement in English language literature,
Wow.
and I received an award for outstanding achievement in theory of knowledge,
Okay.
which I'm super proud of. Yeah,
Well, so later on, after your reign, are you planning to pursue university education?
I would love to. At the moment, I am doing a kind of like a 6-week course with the University of Edinburgh.
Mhm.
I'm studying philosophy.
Wow.
So it's pretty similar to theory of knowledge, and I love it. It makes me think, which is something I love. I'm a very curious person. But I think more in the long term, I'd probably be looking at business management, because one of my aspirations in life is to own my own business, maybe probably own multiple businesses. So yeah, I hope that I can accomplish that goal.
Yeah, definitely you will. But of course, it will still be dependent on the outcome, no, of the pageant later on, the international. So things like that. But it's good to know that at least your plan after the reign, whatever reign is that, whether after the reign of Miss Grand Indonesia or Miss Grand International, or don't you plan? A lot of people are saying you're a Miss Universe material. What can you say about that?
Um, Not gonna lie, I would probably agree, because I think that I also look up to Miss Universe. I think that the women that they have chosen up to today are phenomenal women. They're so well rounded, they're intelligent and beautiful, and they're humble, and they just have it all. So I take that as a compliment. I strive to be someone like that. And I hope that I can bring that to the Miss Grand International pageant. Just being someone who's well rounded and a voice for the voiceless.
Okay, Sophia. Uh, what's your message to your fans
My message to my fans.
internationally? Yeah, because you have really tons of fans in the international scene community.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Never in a million years did I think that I would be doing, you know, something to this caliber, representing a country. And on top of that, being recognized from people from all corners of the globe feels so rewarding, and it feels like a big family. Um, so yeah, thank you. And also, I want you to know that I am just Sophia. I am doing my thing. I hope that I can bring the crown back for Indonesia, because I know that the pageant lovers are very passionate about it and they want this. And I'm sure all the other countries do too. But I also want to remind you that even though I am representing Indonesia, I strive to represent people beyond that. I strive to be, I'm a citizen of the world. I want to represent all people, no matter where you come from, no matter what your ideologies are or your beliefs, your religion. I really believe in peace. I can't emphasize that enough. I really believe in it. It's so accomplishable. Um, yeah, thank you.
Okay, message to your family.
Message to my family. To my family, first, I would say sorry.
Why?
First, I would say sorry for maybe being a lot to handle sometimes, maybe being so full of emotion sometimes, hard to talk to sometimes. I'm sorry for that. But I also want to say thank you. Thank you for putting up with that, first of all. And thank you for just always being there for me and looking out for me. I know that you guys mean your best, even though sometimes I interpret it as something else. I know that family is forever and it's something that is very close to my heart. And so I hope that you guys feel loved by me. And yeah, I'm just eternally grateful.
Message to someone special to you right now.
So, dudes, okay, yeah.
Uh,
To someone special, I would say thank you so much for not only being an inspiration to me, but for also supporting me in achieving my dreams and not making me feel any less for how crazy big my dreams can be sometimes. I know that I am a dreamer and I need to be reminded to keep my feet on the ground sometimes, but it's so nice to have someone that truly believes that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. And it's empowering, it's nice to have that backbone. So thank you.
your eyes are sparkling when I hope I could meet him no soon no. Anyway, Tupa Ivan Gonawan and Dayaya-san.
And Yaya-san and everyone who has been
Adardo.
a part of this journey since day one. Dardo, Matmedi, Abby, everyone. You guys, I know that I'm probably a lot more different from the girls you have worked with in the past and pageantry and stuff like that. I'm sorry that if I'm a bit hard sometimes, if I'm a bit quiet sometimes, but I hope you understand that this year has been a huge year of growth for me. I have found out so much about myself, so much about the external world and how to find inner peace. And I also want to say thank you so much. I can't even think that I can say thank you enough, even though there is sometimes a language barrier, or even though even though
That's happened, no? The language barrier.
yeah, you know what it is. I know that it is stressful for some of the team sometimes to be working with me because it is hard, but I commend you so much for sticking with me through this, having faith in me, um, offering me your trust to fulfill this journey that I'm on. Thank you.
Okay. To your beauty queen sisters, Bella, Nadia, Aura.
To Bella, Nadia, and Aura, you guys really kept me sane in moments where I felt like I was going insane. Yeah, even though I'm in Jakarta, I feel alone when I am at my lowest of lows here and I'm all by myself in this room. They're always there, and it's nice to have kind of like my own family over here of girls supporting girls, a lot of empowering energy around us all because we're all kind of going through a similar journey. So, yeah, thank you guys.
And also, the most important thing, your message to Mr. Dudes.
So, dudes, okay, let's let this come from the heart. So, dudes, I know, as I said earlier, this year has been very chaotic for me, very overwhelming for me. I have been doing so much personal growth. It's like just astronomical amounts of personal growth. But you have always remained a constant from day one. You have always offered your time to me. You have always offered your support. And for that, I'm so eternally grateful. It feels refreshing to be able to, have someone there that I can have a casual conversation with about my life. In some ways, you're like a therapist. because yeah, a lot of stuff goes through my head. I'm definitely an overthinker and I'm full of anxiety, but you've always welcomed me with open arms. And I hope that, I hope I can make you proud. I hope I can make everyone proud and just know that I'm just so grateful. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And with due respect to all the beauty queens that I've handled, you're really my favorite beauty queen,
Aww.
Sophia. With due respect, I love all the beauty queens, but I've been very vocal that you're really, my favorite, no? Among the favorites.
Yeah. Aw, thank you so much, sir dudes. That seriously, like that just made my day. I have had such a stressful, especially like past few months. I've just been so stressed out. Like even right now, my head is pounding. But it's the little things like that that mean so much to me,
Yeah.
and I will remember that just for the rest of my life. I'll remember this.
Yeah, and Sophia, always, try to enjoy every single second of your life. Avoid the stress. I mean, I know it's better said than that, than done, no? But then try to enjoy. That's why I felt so happy, when I feel so happy when I see you enjoying in Bali. I mean the activities there. So it even though we don't communicate that much, no, because I know you're so busy. I mean, not that regular, but then at some point, whenever I drop a message to you, you find ways to to reply. So that's more than enough for me. I feel so happy. So because your happiness is my happiness, your success is
Aw,
mine. Always remember that. Okay.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
That's
So
such
thank you so much. So to end this interview with the Miss
a
Grand Indonesia, any last message or any last word from you?
well, it is the 6th of October, 2021 now. I've got a month to go for this competition, a month and a half. And I want to say that I am going at it full speed, head first. I'm plunging into this experience, and whatever outcome I'm rewarded with, it will be a reward. And I will be thankful. And I hope that everyone else can be thankful and grateful that at the end of the day, I have represented not only Indonesia, but I've represented myself the truest form that I can.
Yeah. And be rest assured that our support on you is 101%.
Yay, thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, Miss Grand Indonesia 2021, Sophia Rogan, and soon to be Miss Grand International 2021. I'm praying so hard for that. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you.
Bye.